All right, so this post right here is about Facebook. Several times, not just once, but several times, has my Facebook attempted to send out over 7,000 photos, which I'm assuming is almost every photo on my phone, to Facebook. I just caught it tonight. And I've caught it other nights too. Now here's another thing. When I want to send photos up, let's say to advertise the Please Subscribe show, which is a show that I'm advertising and the show that I'm in and the show that I'm creating. I'm the owner of that show. And Linda's a part of it too. I can only send up 80 photos at once. Why is it allowing me to send 7,000 photos up at one time? How? This has happened several times. So I have to delete those photos. There's no way it can possibly do that. But I can promise you this, it does do that. I've caught it several times. So beware on Facebook when you're advertising. All of a sudden, I'm like, oh, there's 7,000 photos. Because it'll show like the 4 photos that I try to send. And then right below it, it says plus 7,600 photos or whatever. It'd be like a number like 7,634 or something like that. Those are all photos that are probably on my phone. And they go up on my Facebook. No joke. So what I did to check everything is I looked in my gallery on my iPhone. And it only says like 4,000 something photos. And then it says something like 500 recents. Or no, it says 500 favorites. And then it has like 4,000 recents. But it does not show the number of photos that are on my phone. And I looked at the Facebook post and it said 7,000 something photos. Or 7,000 plus the 4 photos that I was trying to upload. And I was also trying to use Messenger to send some advertisements out. That didn't make sense to me. So I went through and I erased that actual post. So it has the post plus the 7,000. 4,000 or so of them are still on, of course, the phone, but I was trying to get a number on the phone where it would say like 7,000 or something, because then I would know that that number would be on the phone, meaning the number of photos on the phone. But when I go through my iPhone, it'll only give me the recents. Oh, I got a message. What time is it? Okay. It'll only give me the recents, and the favorites. But I can't see the total amount, so I'm looking through my gallery and stuff and trying to figure out how many total photos are there to see if they were trying to get all those photos and post it in a post, which I was not trying to do. So I don't know. I'll have to figure it out. I usually don't keep a dream journal, but I had a weird dream last night. It was kind of like 2 dreams, but I can compare it to 2 different movies. Think of Raiders of the Lost Ark and Schindler's List. So, in Raiders of the Lost Ark, you have the Indian guy, you know, the one that reaches into the guy's heart and pulls it out. Well, that guy was in there, but he was younger. And then it was like Schindler's List. You ever seen a Spielberg movie, Schindler's List? We were in like the shower room, but there were like, I guess I don't even know what you call them, prisoners, you know, the Holocaust people, and they were all in the shower reaching up for the shower and stuff. I think there was like females in there, and they were like ladies, and then the Raiders of the Lost Ark guy comes in, and then he just starts screaming, but it was in color, and it was a smaller shower room, and everyone was it was very strange, but I remember the dream. It was very, very strange, and there was like an Indian, he was like screaming over and over again. Are you ready, sweetie? We're getting ready to slate. Anyway, this is kind of my slate board right here. You ever seen it right here? Sometimes I think these are kind of like a dream or a series of dreams, even though this appears to be real life. I don't know if this is the life for us, meaning I don't know if this reality is always real. It appears to be. Okay, well anyway, I'm Cole Spivey.
I'm Linda Spivey.
And we're headed off today for an adventure on this September 25th?
Yes.
September 25th. Hopefully, if not, I'll change it later. So please subscribe show.
Hi there.
So I never remember my dreams, but I did remember it. It was like Indiana Jones and Schindler's List together, but it was in color. and it was set in a shower room, and there were all these women in there, and there's a crazy Indian guy screaming. Look, I'm telling you, I'm honest, I never remember my dreams, but I remember it plain as day, and it was very spooky. Okay, your dream?
Well, the first one, for some reason, I was with my friend Laura, and some reason she kept sticking her finger out my butt. Like, seriously, like 5 or 6 times. It's like I woke up at like 6 o'clock this morning and my butt hurt. I don't know why she kept doing it. And the second dream,
Was she French?
no. And then I can't remember the whole story about that one. Then the second one, let's see, 3 or 4 Hispanic guys, probably because of the truck situation last week. They were coming to kidnap me and Laura, and then I was trying to look at them like, help me, help me, help me. And then
So you're trying to get away from crazy people.
Yeah. So the house next door had Jennifer in it. I was friends with her too, and she's like, I don't recognize those people. Why are they taking them away? So they took us away, and then
We do a dream journal.
He was taking us away to some other guy, and then he was gonna choose
It's like a trafficking kind of thing.
Yeah, so he was gonna choose if he liked me better or the other girl, and then every Wednesday you would have to do whatever he says.
It's crazy.
And then, so in my dream, I was trying to make him not like me. The guy that, if I got picked out of 2 people, then I would have to do whatever he said.
Yeah.
So he says, do you like pizza? And I'm like, no, I don't like pizza. And they looked at me like I was lying. They're like, sure you're telling the truth? I'm like, okay, I like it a little bit.
I had a recurring dream when I was younger that I was among all these clerics in robes. I dressed up like one of them in Halloween one time. But it was like a robe, like in Eyes Wide Shut, where they had the robes, but not the mask, but they were like long robes. And everybody was among these groups of like they were all chanting the same chant. This is when I was younger, when I was a kid. So if you didn't chant the same chant as everyone else, then you got busted, and they knew who you were, and you would get in trouble. And every single time I was like messing up, stepping on people's robes, and like not chanting right, and people were looking at me like, why is he chanting that way? And and like they weren't saying anything, they're all chanting the same way, but I wasn't chanting like doing the chant. It was very strange, and they'd always look at me as if I was out of place, and then somehow I'd always get away. I would like escape the crowd kind of thing. It was pretty crazy. Anyway, we're gonna start maybe keeping a dream journal when I remember a journal, and then when I remember to journal the dream. Anyway, we're headed out.
Yeah, but I could like spawn it real quick.
Well, my mom is a big critic of the vlog. She watches it. She's like one of our big fans, and she's like, make all the videos 15 minutes and make them positive, like happy. And she's got a point. I'm seriously trying to, because I'm a big fan of Hemingway, and that was Hemingway's suggestion when you write stuff. It's like, make it all positive and happy, because life is too difficult as it is, so you might as well make things as happy as you can, and then they'll see past it. Not that they'll see past what you're doing, but they'll still see the bittersweetness even when you're trying to be happy. I'm not purposely trying to be sad. Maybe sometimes I might be purposely trying to be weird, but isn't that what people do, though? Cats do it. You ever know cats? You ever seen a cat before? It'll start acting weird out of nowhere. It's like a stress thing. The cat will start bouncing around and doing like, man, the cat's acting weird. I had this one dog, though. He used to drag his butt on the ground like a vacuum cleaner. Like he was scratching it was himself, I guess. It was a very weird dog. It's like a lap dog. Anyway, I don't know. I'll do my best. She wants every vlog to be 15 minutes and happy. Why don't we just sit there and smile and laugh for 15 minutes? That'd be a long vlog.
And I will bless you and make your name great so that you will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, And the one who curses you, I will curse. And in you, all the families of the earth shall be blessed. And so, Abram...
4700, I'm Kathy DeWitt Dunn. We'll be right back. You don't have to be...
ages and breathe new life into these ancient words, that they would be your word to us here and your word to us right now. And breathe new life, O God, into the words of my mouth and into the meditations of all of our hearts, that all would be acceptable and pleasing to you, O God. For you are our rock, and you are our Redeemer. For we pray in Christ.
All right, and I got a chicken stick. And so that was kind of my dream journal. I told Linda, I was like, I never remember my dreams. And then I remembered it. I just woke up and I remembered my dream clearly. She usually, sometimes will even write down her dreams for a while. I think she's done it a couple of times. But it's easier just to pick up a microphone or a camera and just, that's where the water was, right down there where we had a flooding thing. And just pick up the dream that way, or just, basically, tell your dream. You can keep it. You can do a whole vlog on just dream journal.
Be a blessing. That word blessing, barak, to receive a gift, but also to receive a gift expecting that you will also have to give it.
I go ahead and listen to my mom, and I guess I'll be a little honest. I have been a little bit bitter. I always saw this character that I'm playing, even though I say it's Cole Spivey or Ash Cole, or sometimes I call the character Colt, because my whole life I've always been playing characters ever since I was very, very little. My mom enrolled me into a Baptist private school, and I got to play David from the Bible, like David and Goliath. I played David. And it was one of my happiest days that I can remember, because I got to dress up and be someone else the whole day. And my friends were happy. Everybody was happy and laughing. We were laughing at each other's costumes and just playing and happy the whole day. And that's how I wanted life to be. I never wanted to change that day. But then the next day we had to put on our clothes and go back and be our old self. Because I felt like a new person. Like I had, been turned into something great, like a king, like King David. And then I could conquer anything. And I didn't have a sling, or, that thing that you sling the rock around, where you throw the rock at Goliath and then he falls over. I didn't have one. So my teacher made me one. So the day was not just a day of discovering that you could play a character, but it was a day that your teacher worked with you hands-on and created something in front of you. So my teacher, she's kind of a heavy-set Baptist woman, very, very nice, set me aside, and, she wasn't really heavy-set, but, she was a healthy-looking woman, she wasn't like a model woman kind of thing, but, so she set me aside, and she said, okay, so you're who? And I said, I'm David from David and Goliath. She said, oh. And she said, okay, well, we're going to have to make you a sling, for your stone. And I said, okay. So I was sitting by the desk, and she took all these rubber bands. I was probably like maybe 20 rubber bands or something. And she came up with the idea right then. So she tied all the rubber bands together, and, it could sling around, but in my mind, it was like a slingshot, that you pull back and then released, kind of like a slingshot. I thought of a slingshot like that. That's what she said, a slingshot. We had to make a slingshot. So the teacher got to play with us, but the only thing is the teacher didn't really dress up or anything, but she kind of was the director. That's what she was. Yeah, she was a director. And everybody else had a costume. Almost everybody was dressed as something. So we were not in the reality that we thought we were in. We were in like a Bible story, which is almost like every Hollywood movie, if you think about it. If you really think about it, they're all different versions of Bible stories. All of them. Even Friday the 13th is like a version of a Bible story. It really is. Look at this. It's a lake. And I think that's what was true to me, because I've been told by other Christians that this reality is temporary. Even C.S. Lewis believed that we were in like a temporary reality. We're not in like a fixed reality. He believed in an underworld. I think he called it the shadow world. A shadow world is what C.S. Lewis called it. I guess that day I was in a fixed reality. I was in something very real. So maybe we don't really understand that reality until we get to heaven. But when you play, especially as a child, you start to feel almost like a sense of euphoria at times. And you feel another reality kind of kicking in, another reality becoming real, another reality arriving into your own existence. So you arrive at another place, even though you're at the same place, like a shadow world or something. But the only difference is that it wasn't a shadow world. This was like a happy Bible world. Think of the Holy Land experience kind of thing, but in a classroom. It was pretty serious. This is like a new Baptist school. Our principal was in a wheelchair, and he actually really did heal me of dyslexia. Because I started to get dyslexic when I was in second grade, and he was actually able to heal me of it. I can actually see letters normal and everything. I didn't understand Christianity completely, but I think I understood who Jesus was. I couldn't recall certain scriptures in the Bible, but I could recall Jesus. I could recall Jesus Christ. I could feel his presence. And I think he was there that day when we were dressed as Bible characters. So the school really taught me a whole lot. Approaching House of Blades again, starting this wonderful Sunday, September 25th. And, okay. So, same person as yesterday. And we'll be headed around this way.
Oh, Christ, surround me. Oh, Christ, surround.
Oh, Christ, hear our prayer.
Oh, Christ, surround me.
And the glory forever. Amen. Today's offering goes to support the ongoing mission and ministry of this congregation. And today, as you know, we celebrate our Epiphany Ministry. It's a place where adults living with unique abilities can truly belong. It includes worship, Bible study, fellowship, life skills, art, and community service. God has blessed each of us and all of us together to be a blessing, not to give a blessing or to feel blessed, but to be a blessing.
Right. Looks like it's a $3 one at Cotton Patch. I seriously have to talk about these $3. Here's your $3. Go pick up the food. I really do strongly believe it should be $5 and up, or at least $10 and up for each delivery. I'm talking about the payment, okay? Not that you can go to Cotton Patch and get anything for $3. You can't even get iced tea for $3 at Cotton Patch. You might can, I don't know. The other day I got 2 tacos for $2.79 at Jack in the Box, and I was happy. I was like, wow, the inflation did not hit Saginaw yet. I went to Saginaw, Texas to drop off some type of treat or food item. And then I stopped off at Jack in the Box to get dinner, and I got the 2 tacos for $2.79 or $2.49. I have to look on the receipt. I think it was $2.49, and I was flipping out because that was 4 tacos. You probably survive on that for the day, maybe. You lose a little bit of weight, though. You're only getting about 800 calories. A hefty dinner, not too big, not too small, but 800 calorie is about right for a dinner. Usually in breakfast time, you want to do like 300 calories, maybe 350 calories. You could do a 400 calorie breakfast. Some people do 1,000 calorie breakfast, and that's fine. You can do that too. But I usually do like if I'm lucky, a 300 calorie breakfast. And then I do, you know, a 400, maybe a 500 calorie lunch. So then I'm looking at about 700 calories by lunch. And then I polish everything off for dinner time. Get those 3 meals so you have plenty of energy throughout the day. So you're not a yakety yak. Yeah, I find that if I don't eat as much, I talk more. If I have a really good meal, I'm a little more quiet. Anyway, my mom wants to make all these happy. She wants all my vlogs to be 15 minutes and everything happy. But she doesn't understand the editing room at all. Back in the day when I was growing up, I remember I never had breakfast. This is especially like around high school time. Never. No breakfast. I just get up, get my clothes on, go to school. Lunch would come around, and sometimes I'd have lunch. Usually like Taco Bell, you know, in high school, you'd leave the high school, you know, you'd leave the high school premises, you go run over to Taco Bell and grab a couple tacos and then come back to the high school. I did that kind of thing. Or Subway, you know, I'd go to Subway and do that as well. And then of course I would come home. By that time I'd be really hungry, and I'd have like a, you know, bunch of rice and beans or whatever my mom was making. She made this thing called Rum Dum Diddy. Not all the time, but my mom learned Rum Dum Diddy recipe. I've talked about it before. She learned it in the Blue Jays. They're kind of like the Girl Scouts. No. There were the Blue Jays and the Brownies. That's right. They were like the Girl Scouts. Anyway, Rum Dum Diddy consists of corn, stewed tomatoes. They can be chopped or just regular stewed tomatoes. I think you can put onion in it and even bell pepper. And hamburger meat. So you mix it all up with hamburger meat, lots of pepper, and it was called Rum Dum Diddy. It was kind of like, oh, Rum Dum Diddy. But yet, you know, you could have those corn chips and eat it with corn chips. And for some reason, it was really good. It's, you know, Linda tried to remake it one time, or I told her to try to remake it because we started doing a cooking show. We're actually going to get back to that. We may get back to the cooking show. You got to realize cooking shows are very exhausting. I mean, literally, after I do a cooking show, I have to like lay down and just say a prayer. It's not easy because you're around a lot of hot items. The focus level goes way up. It's like being in the kitchen, the hot kitchen. Try doing a cooking show. It's pretty intense. I saw Nicolas Cage do a cooking show. I didn't see him in person do it. It made an interesting thing, but no, he did like a cooking show whenever he was doing that movie Pig. Yeah, he was doing a cooking show. He looked like he was trying to stay on his feet. It's not easy at all. When you're around food, it's tough. It's a good thing to film and practice. Actually, I recommend that if you're a filmmaker, at least try to do one cooking show. Try to do it and see what it's like. Here it is. Going to Cotton Patch right now. So they want me to drop this off at your doorstep for $3. You ever seen Better Off Dead with John Cusack? You know, $3. No, here's your $2. That's right. $2. So John Cusack did this movie called Better Off Dead. There it is right here. It's the Cotton Patch. I don't know if you can see it, but anyway, regardless, it doesn't really matter. I'm about to pick it up. But this movie, and this newspaper delivery guy's driving around on a bicycle, and he's screaming in the neighborhood, I want my $2 back. I want my $2 back. The movie was very strange, and John Cusack actually went to the premiere of it. I heard this as a rumor. He said it was the worst thing that he ever saw in his life and walked out of it. It's a cult classic today. Better Off Dead. Yeah, chicken brisket. I don't know if I've ever even had chicken brisket. I've had beef brisket, but I don't know about chicken brisket, though. It's probably pretty good. I'm a big John Cusack fan. Better Off Dead, I think, is like one of his best work, though, to be honest. It's funny because there's like a whole skiing scene. They do all this stuff. They're skiing down this snowy mountain. And, you know, like those racers. He's like I guess you call it a ski racer. You know, the people that are on skis and they're, I don't know, toboggan or whatever. I don't even know what you call that stuff. I've only been skiing a couple times my entire life, but the movie's just incredible. It's an incredible movie. You just got to watch it. But yeah, the rumor is in the premiere, John Cusack's like, this is the worst thing I've ever seen. and he just walked out. He was young. He was a young actor. He wanted everything to be perfect. That's what went down. You know, he made this movie. It's a great movie. It's a laugh after the next laugh after the next laugh after the next laugh. It's probably one of the funniest movies ever made too. Better Off Dead, John Cusack. Gotta check it out.